Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Morning Dew Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on June 2nd, 2021. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the Daily Dew, where we look at space weather, world weather, and everything else affecting humanity. Starting out here, looking at our sun, as not much has changed. Still have the Earth-facing sunspot, and another one cresting, and it doesn't seem to be too active just yet. And same with the Earth-facing sunspot. So no major space weather events incoming. We did see a small rise in the solar influx this morning. Looking out outgoing images there. Another closer look here at the two sunspots that still could produce a flare or CME. Looking at multi-spectrum here, you can see the long dark line in the bottom of the sun. That is a large plasma filament. Going to be watching that over the next couple days. As well, the Earth-facing coronal hole has since diminished. But if you look to the bottom left-hand side there is another one developing. Having a look at our real-time solar wind, as we are still very low, 290 kilometers per second. We did see a small rise there, 328 kilometers per second. And that was that little bit of geomagnetic activity. So we saw a small rise, but still, geomagnetic activity remains low. Looking at our Schumann resonance for today, a power of 9. Nothing major to report there either. Let's have a look at the last 24 hours for earthquakes. And most recently, pretty deep earthquake here, Fiji region 4.9, 614 kilometer depth. And that's most recent. And wow, we've had a pretty quiet day for earthquakes, except for Japan. Japan has seen many earthquakes on the east side of the islands, and as well moving southward towards Bonin Islands, Marianas Trench. As well, South China Sea, seeing a couple earthquakes there, close to Taiwan. As well, Tajikistan, 4.4, 4.1, and a 4.5 reported today. And as well, a 4.5 in Kyrgyzstan. 4.3 here just in Turkey, 10 kilometer depth. And that's just east of the Greece earthquake that was reported yesterday. Very eerily quiet in South America after all of the central activity yesterday. Puerto Rico, nothing major to report there. Normal earthquakes. Looking across the United States, and we've seen a 3.0 here in White City, New Mexico today, 6 kilometer depth. As well, 3.2 there, Aguanga, California. That was yesterday, actually. So yeah, not much to report across the United States either. Stanley, Idaho seems to be the most active right now. Having a quick look here across Montana as well. Silver Gate, Montana, just northeast of Yellowstone. There was a 2.7 earthquake reported last night. And since then, there's been a couple more, 1.7 and as well a 0.8. So that's northeast of Yellowstone Lake. Silver Gate, Montana. But other than that, nothing major to report in the lake. Most of the activity is heading west and northwest into Idaho, Spencer, Idaho, and I'm pretty sure over here to Stanley, Idaho, into the Salmon River Mountains, the Deadwood Reservoir, which most likely was a caldera at one point in history. Having a look across the states, no major swarms to talk about. Nothing major to report across the states right now. Just wanted to give you an in-depth, of course, with USGS. Hawaii seeing minor earthquakes today, largest seeing a 3.0. Alaska, here in Teller, Alaska, 3.6, 4 kilometer depth. But yeah, most of the activity was in Japan today, and as well the deep earthquake here in Fiji. So we can expect a larger, shallower earthquake to follow, And this is a part of the earthquake warning that I've been giving here, because we do have a Mercury retrograde. We are on the verge of it. And that is when Mercury passes in between us and the sun. Having a look at the last 7 days for earthquakes, just giving you a quick rundown, and I still believe we are long overdue. Just heads up, stay aware and prepared across North America and as well through Central America. And I'd have to say most likely Europe as well. Across the world, my friends and family from around the world, stay aware and prepared. So let's have a look at what's going on here in our solar system right now, flying through the Milky Way. And we arrive at Saturn. But right now, we're on the verge of heading into the big squeeze for July and August. And coming up on June 6th to right about June 14th, we're going to see a Mercury retrograde. And it is known and documented on my channel that when Mercury goes retrograde with Earth, we see an uptick in seismicity almost simultaneously across the planet. So this is a heads up from June 6th to 14th. Watch for an uptick in seismicity across the planet as Mercury goes retrograde. And then in the coming months, we are getting ready, as I said, the big squeeze coming up here soon. We're going to be in between the three largest gas giants in our solar system, the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn. Give you a quick look here at what it looks like when we finally get into the position, which is right about the middle of, late June. And then pretty much it's from July to August, we go from Saturn to Jupiter. So heads up, my friends and family, things are really going to be shaking up in the next little bit, especially through July and August. Let's have a look at the Pacific Disaster Center, looking at satellite imagery, most recent, and we do have Tropical Depression Blanca, who is the trough of the low pressure system is heading west. All the moisture is going to be heading east. So it's going to be interesting here what happens. The next 12 hours will be foretelling. Only one tornado warning to talk about, and that is in Morehead City, North Carolina, along the coastline. They're seeing and being inundated by a lot of rain in the forecast here as well for the next 5 days. Lots of storms to report through monsoon areas as well. Tropical Depression Choi Wen, who will be heading towards Taiwan in the long-range forecast. Not sure what kind of a category it will be just yet. But yeah, storms are already popping up across Malaysia, Thailand, Hong Kong, India, Pakistan. Floods being reported in Nepal. Let's have a look at the most recent volcano stopgate, Sabancaya in Peru, as well Nyiragongo in the Congo, Nevados de Chilean, Fuego, Reventador, and Sangay and Etna, Suwas de Najima in Japan, Semeru, Indonesia, and Pacaya in Guatemala. So that's only about 10 volcanoes being updated today. And I did not put out the volcanic activity report because not much has changed. Nothing has changed since the last 42 count. So heads up, be ready for the next one. Let's have a look at the 5-day forecast brought to you by MeteorEarth, and as well, Morning Dew daily events worldwide. Starting out here, home base, Alberta, very warm. I got a disc golf tournament that starts tonight, and that's why I'm putting this out early today. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. Wish me luck. Starting out here, warm temps, and then by Friday night into Saturday, watch for thunderstorm conditions to develop right across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba throughout the week. as that big low comes from the north, crashing with those really warm temperatures. So yeah, watch for extreme weather event across the central plains of Canada. As well, watch for 2 low pressure systems here to come into the BC coastline. And by the end of this forecast, it's still going to be very cold, -5 in some higher elevation parts of the foothills. Interesting. Really warm across California coast. Long line of moisture here heading up the east coast of the United States and into the Atlantic provinces. As well, a Gulf low here, which will be hanging around and could develop some pretty extreme weather in the long-range forecast. Big high-pressure ridge here over the Atlantic, still keeping those low-pressure systems at bay and warming things up all across Europe. Low-pressure system over Turkey, high-pressure system over parts of northern Europe, keeping things dry. And then watch in the long-range forecast here, that low-pressure system to come out of Turkey and then join forces with all the other low-pressure systems over Europe. Long-range forecast here could be interesting, like across every continent, just saying. All right, overlooking Southeast Asia and India. Extreme heat through northern India and as well parts of Qatar and Iran. Lots of moisture here coming out of China for the next 5 days, and as well straight up into the Koreas. Watch that large low pressure system. I had pointed that out in yesterday's forecast. That thing came from Russia. Long line of moisture stretching from China to Kamchatka. Overlooking Indonesia, Malaysia, no major weather events except for daily evaporation rains. No tropical storms developing. Overlooking Australia, it could be an interesting long-range forecast here. High-pressure ridge keeping you dry until the long-range here, southeastern parts. A very cold Antarctic low will be penetrating your coastline, southeastern Australia. And then watch for this equatorial low-pressure system as well to be affecting parts of northwestern Australia. So interesting forecast here for Australia. Stay tuned to the Daily Do as things change daily, sometimes hourly, sometimes in an instant. Overlooking New Zealand, high pressure ridge still hanging around until the low pressure system comes in Saturday throughout the whole weekend, and center of the low will be hitting parts of northern New Zealand. High pressure ridge here building over Hawaii, no moisture, and as well keeping things dry along the west coast of the United States. No major weather systems to talk about through South America, except for heavy rains through Panama and coastal regions towards Ecuador. And some pretty cool temperatures I might have to just really keep a track on through Chile. Overlooking Africa, no major weather events to talk about there either. 5-day forecast, regular daily evaporation rains. That low pressure system finally moves out of South Africa, not before bringing a bit of rain for Madagascar. Going to leave you here looking at the northern hemisphere versus the southern, pointing out that huge low pressure system right beside Greenland. You can see that there's about 3 low pressure systems wrapped up in it. They're joining forces, they're getting bigger. Versus the southern hemisphere. Same thing is happening down here. Pretty much antipode to what is happening in the North Pole. I think getting ready for the magnetic reversal. Thanks for watching today. Stay aware, prepared, stay young, and have fun. and get your morning dew. Thanks for watching. Please share today. Prayers for humanity. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.